Hello, my name is Kristen Pruce, and I am a sophomore in high school here in South Bend. I would like to thank everyone who has worked so hard to put on this event, and especially those in Moms Demand Action who have given me the opportunity to speak to you all today. And thank you to every single one of you who has come out today. This is awesome. To all the young people out here, I'm sure that many of you have, at some point in your fight for gun reform or social justice and change in general, heard that you are too young. You are too naive, too uneducated, too emotional. You cannot understand. I am here to give an answer to those who doubt the validity of our arguments and beliefs because of our age. You're right. We are too young. We're too young to fear bullets ricocheting through our classrooms, to fear that a normal day at school could become our last day on Earth. Too young to fear that instead of understanding chemistry, we will have to understand how to lay low, keep our mouths closed, stifle the tears until the active shooter leaves our school. To fear that we won't be alive to write college applications or pull any more all-nighters writing essays or walk set stage at the end of senior year. And we are too young to become numb to the violence surrounding us. A survivor at Santa Fe High School admitted that she wasn't surprised that her school had experienced a shooting. We are all too young to not be surprised by another shooting, even in our own state or community, like in Noblesville last Friday. And we are too young to fear that, as a woman, there is the threat of joining the 50 women in this country who are shot and killed by intimate partners per month, should a domestic violence situation arise. This is what happened to Tyciona Crawford, a senior at Washington High School here in town. And we are too young to fear that for our African American friends, a speeding ticket could become a family's funeral payment, or that violence in their neighborhoods could take their lives. While gun violence is affecting everyone in this country, communities of color are disproportionately impacted by it. According to Everytown research, Black men are 13 times more likely to be shot and killed than white men. Are we too young to understand that this is unacceptable? And we are too young to see firsthand the reality that the criminalization of even the young in Black and brown communities is a disease that plagues our country. Too young to fear that any young Black man holding a cell phone could be shot at 20 times and killed because that cell phone looked like a gun from a distance. And too young to be hyper-aware of the fact that while innocent Black men are killed in this way, some white people have the luxury of showing off their guns like trophies, with no fear of even confrontation, not to mention death. I once took a trip to Chicago to put on a summer camp for kids on the South Side. In a fun activity for the kids, we asked them what they would wish for if they had one wish. At 8 or 9, I would have wanted a bike or a soccer ball. But one little girl I was working with, a 9-year-old named Jalea, wrote just one word in crayon: safety. And this sort of answer was not uncommon. Safety, protection, no more violence in their communities. These kids have had to grow up way too fast, their childhood stolen by death and violence. These children, too, are too young. So yes, we may be young, but here we are fighting on behalf of those who were killed too young. Because Alyssa and Nicholas and Kimberly and Sabika and Trayvon and Stefan and Tony were all too young. Victims of gun violence no longer have their own voices, so we must listen to their stories. Grieve and feel that pain, then raise our voices as loud as we can for them. We must fight to change the system that is profiting off of machines that kill thousands each year. We must vote to put politicians in office who care for the people, not for bloody money. We must act. We cannot afford to believe those who say we are too young to make a difference. I see clearly that we can and we are. While legislation cannot change everything, it is a powerful step to a more peaceful tomorrow. And so we ask, how many more must die before common sense gun laws are implemented? Until simple gun safety is widely emphasized and understood. How many more must die? It is clear that gun violence is just one part of broader issues within our country. Racism, poverty, inequality, and sexism all perpetuate the system of violence in our nation. Looking at the young people here, however, I am no longer overwhelmed by the huge tasks at hand. And so, regardless of age, endure and even initiate those hard conversations with people who disagree with you. Help others understand the work that we are doing and understand that this is not a party-specific issue, but rather an issue of basic human safety and rights. Young people in high school and college text students to 64433 to get involved with the local Students Demand Action group that we are working on in South Bend. And finally, vote. We must use the privilege of democracy as a tool with which to implement change. Because by next August, we want our schools to feel safe again, not like huge targets. The country saw thousands of people come together from different generations and backgrounds for the March for Our Lives on March 24th. We saw a movement gain momentum as everyone, but especially the youth, demanded action. And so to all the younger people here, I encourage you and urge you to follow in the words of Angela Davis. I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I am changing the things I cannot accept. See the injustice and feel that pain, but look around you at those fighting for justice and for goodness and have hope. Because I know that together we can end gun violence, and together we can change this country for the better. Thank you.